and welcome to part 2 of iPhone photo editing video tutorial. We already cropped this image to get the perfect composition, and now what I want to do is convert this image into black and white. And in order to do this, we're going to find black and white module on the left side and go ahead and select it. Alright, and that's it, it's black and white now. Now it does get a bit more complicated. The first thing you can check out here is next to the star button, you get different presets where Snapseed has already prepared some combinations of different adjustments you could do so that you can check out what you like best. For example, here we have this darkened sky effect, old film, dark, bright, contrast. So it's just to get you started with some ideas. But for now, I'll leave this at neutral, and I'll do the adjustments later by myself. Here, on the right side, you see another interesting button, which is this color selection. And what it allows you to do is essentially change how the black and white conversion takes place. And what you can do is you can highlight certain colors more than others, which is really interesting. And here, as we're doing this, you really see how the photo gets a bit different depending on what colors we select. It's just something fun to play around with. And for this, I think I like green the most, so I'll leave that on. Okay, now once I have that, there are a few more things you can do. And in Snapseed, in most of the modules, you can navigate the app by swiping vertically and horizontally. And let me explain. If you take one finger and swipe across the screen vertically, you get this menu which says brightness, contrast, and grain. Let's say we select brightness, and then if you start moving along the screen horizontally with one finger, you can change the brightness as much as you like. In the same fashion, you can do most adjustments in Snapseed, which is really what makes this app so cool. Okay, so let's just see what we can do to this image to adjust the brightness and contrast. And I'm going to start with contrast, and I think that increasing the contrast a little bit is going to make it more interesting, because what happens, and by the way, on the top right corner you have this little picture icon. If you tap on that, you see what you started with, so you can always compare the changes you've made. So what happens here, with increased contrast, I am able to really emphasize the shadows on the wet surface more, which makes this photo more interesting. So I'm going to probably leave this at around 15 for now. Now I'm also going to check out brightness, and I think that by making this image a little bit brighter, I can really make it look better, and I can also make the dark silhouettes stand out more. So I'm going to leave it at this for now. So I'm going to go ahead on the right hand corner, select this button, and save the changes. So now the image is black and white. The next thing I want to check out is something known as the center focus. And that's this icon on the left. What center focus allows you to do is essentially create vignetting, whereby the sides of your photo are darker than the central parts of it. And once again, here you can do a little, you have already a bunch of presets done by Snapseed, and you can pick these to get you started, just to give you some ideas of what could be done. Or you can just adjust everything yourself, and that's what I'm going to do now. So once again, we can swipe vertically, and we can choose between blur strength, outer brightness, and inner brightness. Now blur strength essentially means here that Snapseed can make the sides of the image blurry, as you can see right now. Now I don't want to do it here. In this case, I want to keep the entire image sharp, so I'll take blur strength all the way down to 0. What I also want to do is I don't want any more inner brightness. Or I could actually leave it at something like 10, but I don't want to make the central parts of the image too bright. That's not my intention here. What I do want to change, however, is the outer brightness. And I'm going to go ahead and decrease it a bit. And you see, the more I do this, the darker the sides get. Now this is obviously way too much, So I'm going to leave it at something around 70 for now. But there's something more you can do. If you just take one finger and press it in the middle of the photo, you're going to get this blue dot. And what you can do with this blue dot is you can move it around the screen, and you can really change what is the center of your image. And if you take two fingers, you can do even more. You can change center size. And so everything inside this image, inside the circle, is going to stay bright, and what's on the sides of the image will get darkened. So in this way, you can really change how big of an area you affect. For this photo, I'm going to put the center on the subjects, because that makes a lot of sense here. And I'm going to make it a bit smaller, something like this. That way, you see the window on the left side of the photo gets darker, which I think is interesting in this case. So what I'm going to do once again is I'm going to look at outer brightness and find something I think is good. Now once again, on the top right corner, you see this little picture icon. If you click on that, you can really see the difference. And yeah, this is what we've done, and I like it a lot. I think I will make the outer brightness even a bit less strong, something like this. Alright, perfect. So I'll go ahead and I'll save the changes by tapping on the button on the bottom right corner. Okay, now that we've saved the changes, once again, I suggest that we save this image to photo library so that if we screw something up later on, we still have this so that we can come back to it. Okay, thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you in part 3.